thank you. And we have very disciplined speakers, actually. And again, ample time for discussion. Right, Professor Levitt.
Thank you, that was absolutely fascinating. I have three questions. First is, how do you translate najwyraźniej in English?
Let me think.
It's a popular word of Lipsky.
Most clearly?
Clearly, yeah, you could say, yeah, most clearly, yeah, that sounds right.
Most probably?
Most clearly. I think you could just say clearly. You could just say clearly and it would be alright. Or obviously, yeah.
Second question, were you limiting your corpus to British English, or was it also include American and Canadian?
No, it's both. It's both, actually. I mean, the thing is, you know, the data are quite scarce as it is. So I can't say that I'm going to limit myself only to the works which have been translated from American English into Polish, because this would leave me with less data, which I, you know, basically don't have, because the bigger the corpus...
It was actually a question.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't a criticism.
Yeah, I know, I'm just trying to justify my decision here. Because, you know how it works. The bigger the corpus, the more reliable the data you get from it are. So basically, if I can get more data without much harm done, I feel that this is not something that does damage the data in a sense, because those are still translations, right? So those texts are in Polish, all of them. Both my corpora are corpora of Polish. Just that one of them is a corpus of translated Polish, and one of them is a corpus of written Polish.
But I don't know whether anyone has done a study to see whether, say, North American English writers versus British English writers versus Irish British writers, whether you can tell from some kind of stylistic analysis which tradition they're coming from. But I have no idea. You have to know that before you can see whether that had an impact on the translation.
Yeah, that's true. That's also very interesting. But as I said, like that, you need data from specific period of
versus Scottish English.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the problem is that, you know, you're talking about some, I guess, smaller Englishes in a sense, right? Which means that you need to have a balanced corpus, which includes a lot of contemporary works from Scottish, from all those varieties of English, right? This would be quite difficult to gather, but I think the conducting such study is really possible. There may have been some studies conducted this way as well. So I think this is, I haven't really seen any, but I think this is entirely plausible that there have been studies of this sort already.
Or even without looking at translations, simply.
Yes, of course, just
stylistic signs of difference.
Yeah.
The last question is, you're going from English, which is typologically a fairly isolating language with a lot of free morphemes, to Polish, which has a lot more bound morphemes, a lot more inflection, and depends a lot more on the use of inflection. This is only looking at, I presume, words, free morphemes. Have you thought of, I mean, what if you were trying to translate out of Inuktitut, or a North American native language which had virtually nothing but bound morphemes, versus, for instance, translating out of classical Chinese, which has nothing but free morphemes. Have you thought about the implications of that for the
that sounds very... I think this sounds very promising, but again, the ability to collect data in corpus linguistics is something that is the biggest obstacle in your way. So when you think about the texts which have been, I mean, if you could study like the translations into English from other languages, I think this could work. If you were to look at the translations from, let's say, those rare or less commonly translated languages into Polish, you might run into a situation where you don't have enough data to work with.
Well, no, it wasn't really a practical question, it was more of a theoretical question.
But there's definitely quite interesting.
Have you thought about the implications or is there any way to look at inflections?
Yeah. I was
cases, gender.
I was thinking about case markers.
In Polish, and case markers and verbal inflection differ from translated text to native.
That's what I'm probably going to study this year as well. So I'm probably going to have a look at the case markers, because, okay, the main issue with studying case markers is there is a lot of ambiguity there. So you need to have a, you know, when you're working with a corpus this large, like 2 million words, there's no way that you are going to be able to, you know, tag every single case marker yourself. And this is the only way to reliably say that this, you know, this is accusative, for instance, and this is something else. So that's the big issue here. So you have to rely on something that will do it for you and that you can probably verify later. But this also means that it's going to require, firstly, tremendous effort, and it's not going to be fully accurate, because those devices, there are some quite reliable taggers in Polish right now that can, for instance, mark case with about 95% accuracy. But this is quite high. But again, this is not perfect. It's not perfect data yet. You probably need to check every single case attribution yourself to be certain that the program didn't commit any serious mistakes, right? So that's basically the idea here. You need to have very reliable data, because you're doing statistics already. So if you're saying that your sample that you're studying is not statistically accurate itself, it's like you're 95% confident that what you have there is correct, and then you say, okay, I'm going to run some statistics on it, but your ability to assess it and to say, okay, I'm confident this result is, the fact that, pertains to the facts is actually going to be quite difficult. So it's a very interesting idea, but it has certain difficulties that it carries over with it as well.
Further questions?
Well, as I understand that you don't have enough data from people who both write fiction and translate. You have only those two authors. But your hypothesis up to now is that the translation influences the style of the writer.
Yes.
Well, but haven't you thought that there are cases where people start by writing fiction and then turn to translating?
Yes, I took this into consideration.
It's interesting to check how this would be like.
Yes, of course, but I just don't have data for that yet. This is something that I very recently started working on.
Yes, I understand, but I just...
That's also something that if I get enough data on this, I'm definitely going to include this into the research too. But that's a very interesting idea as well, to see, whether it's just, whether those pieces will be categorized statistically as native Polish text, for instance, or translations. Yes, definitely.
And Professor Frank.
I have two questions. The first one is fairly simple. I was wondering, in terms of the texts that were translated, whether they all came from the same time period.
Yes, as I said, they came from the time period of late 1970s until now.
Until now.
Yes.
The second question has to do with the example you gave of to look at, that it had such a much higher statistical
keenness. Yeah, it's called keenness.
And with that, I was wondering whether or not you had thought, or perhaps in the future, would think about what it is in Polish that stands in for to look at. In other words, to look at as a visual. You were comprehending understandings of visually, but there are all kinds of other ways of understanding and comprehending that do not involve to look at that outside view. I was just wondering if there's like an immediate thing that would come to your mind as to how in Polish that would be expressed.
I don't have an answer to this one, honestly. I did study a lot of interferences, because when you look at certain phrases that you think interferes from English into Polish, it's mostly guesswork, right? As to why exactly does it interfere. I don't think this answers your question entirely, but as I'm saying, right, that's a very interesting idea. Just that I don't really think I can definitely answer it right now. I can't answer your question for now. Sorry.
I do apologize, but I have to actually finish the discussion. Further questions can be asked during the coffee break. Okay? Yeah. So once again, let's thank the speaker.